This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
On the next Discover the Upper Cumberland, we take a page out of history in Pickett County. Then we learn about a beautiful and delicious spot on Center Hill Lake. And finally, we see a popular destination for kayakers in the Upper Cumberland. So come along, and together we'll discover the Upper Cumberland.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the United States Department of Agriculture.
Welcome to Discover the Upper Cumberland, where we explore and uncover what's incredible about our region of Tennessee. I am your guide, Celeste Flatt Bennett. The Upper Cumberland has been home to many important figures throughout history that have helped shape the world. Cordell Hull was one of those very important figures. He was an instrumental part of bringing countries together to help improve the world around us, forming what is known as the United Nations. Born right here in the Upper Cumberland, in Pickett County, Cordell Hull is still being honored today.
Cordell Hull birthplace, we have a park museum that talks about the major parts of Cordell's life, like when he was Secretary of State. We have artifacts that he had when he was Secretary of State that were given to us by the Hull family. And so you kind of go through a timeline. When you first walk in, you see the later years, and then when you walk down to the log cabin, you kind of come into his younger life and his experiences as a child and what molded him to become the man he became in his later life. To become one of the greatest politicians and powerful men in history, to come from such a humble beginning. You know, it kind of gives you a new perspective of him. Cordell Hull was born here in 1871 on this property. At that time, it was 12 acres, and they were sharecroppers. And so they would have used all their crops and given them to their renter. And they lived here the first 4 years of Cordell's life. And then they moved down the road and bought property down there and began logging. Here today, we have the cabin like they would have had it in 1871. And so people can kind of step back and feel how it would have been when Cordell lived here. We have period gardens. We have the garden down here, and then we have an herb garden on the back side of the log cabin. We're right now in the log cabin, the living quarters area, and they would have stayed in this area. This is a 1.5-story cabin, and they would have been down here, and the boys would have lived upstairs. And then you can go across the road to the trailhead, and we have if you go down to Buncombe Cave, it's a 2.25 mile round trip, or you can just look at the beautiful overlook of Buncombe Cave, which is 1 3/4 miles. And it's probably one of the prettiest caves in the area. It's absolutely beautiful, and most of the time it always has running water in it, and it's nice and cool down there. So if it's 90 degrees, you walk down to the cave and you get a little bit of an air conditioner.
Before governments declared that they recognized the necessity of establishing at the earliest practicable date a general international organization based on the principle of the sovereign equality of all peace-loving states and open to membership by all such states, large and small.
And those words were the seeds of the United Nations.
Cordell Hull grew up in 1871, and that was about the time right after the Civil War. And so in this area, you had a lot of Union and Confederate people. And so Cordell had to learn how to be more diplomatic. And he worked very hard, the family did. They farmed in the summer, logged, and then in the winter months, they went to school. They were tutored when there wasn't a school, and after the school was built, they went to school, and they even went to school in Salina after they moved to Willow Grove area. And so education was very important. It was very important to the whole family themselves. Even though they were hard workers, they also believed that an education was a way to go. And so he started young into politics, and he was a U.S. representative for over 21 years. And then finally met Franklin D. Roosevelt while he was a U.S. representative and senator. And with his time with Franklin D. Roosevelt, Franklin D. really admired Cordell Hull. And so when FDR became president, he asked Cordell if he would become Secretary of State. And during his time as Secretary of State, he wrote the foundations of the United Nations. Franklin D. Roosevelt did not forget what Cordell had done, and so he nominated Cordell Hull for the Nobel Peace Prize for his work as the father of the United Nations. You know, one of the things about Cordell's childhood was that he worked in the logging industry and ran logs and would raft them to Nashville. Well, when they came to meet Stalin in Russia, Stalin was very particular, and then he called for only Cordell. And so everybody was really afraid what would happen. And Cordell came out with Stalin laughing and had a good time. Well, he was able to make that connection with Stalin because Stalin also grew up in the lumber industry, so they had something in common. And so Cordell, even though his background was very humble, it was able to give him a connection that other people were not able to get.
Today, we are living through a dark period. It is in times like this that each of us needs desperately to hold fast to the faith that is in us.
Shan Barklow and Suzanne Williams, hosts of WCTE Smithfield Fiddlers Jamboree coverage, are our ambassadors to DeKalb County and are experts on what is wonderful about their part of the Upper Cumberland region. These two ladies give us a peek at the first marina established on Center Hill Lake, Hurricane Marina, and a more recent venue that serves up a variety of delicious culinary masterpieces, the Blue Water Grill.
Hey Shan, where's the sweet tea?
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Well, we're here at Hurricane Marina on a beautiful houseboat on award-winning Cedar Hill Lake, 64 miles of pure liquid beauty.
Now with 8 marinas, lots of recreation areas, and restaurants, wait for it, that are right on the water.
So pick your favorite water sport and let your adventure begin. And don't forget, while you're here in DeKalb County, you got to get some great food.
I highly recommend Hurricane Marina's Blue Water Grill. This is a local favorite that, once again, located right on the water.
Well, from their blackberry chicken salad to my favorite, the shrimp and grits, they will not let you leave hungry.
And you'll receive service with a smile. So I recommend we stop talking about it. We need to head back and eat.
In 1946, the marina was already established. Hurricane Marina was the first marina on the river, and that marina is how they transported supplies to the now Center Hill Dam. At this marina, this is the only place the workers stayed and ate while building at the Center Hill Dam. In 1952 is when they flooded Center Hill Lake to make it what it is now. And then we became a full-fledged marina, adding slips. It grew from there. 2006 is when the marina was bought by some investors in Nashville. So in 2007 is when we opened the new marina up. the restaurant, the new docks.
We're at Blue Water Grill at Hurricane Marina in Center Hill, Lake Tennessee. It's been here since 2008, so this is our 9th year, so we kind of got a good handle on things. We know exactly what we're doing, handling good food, the best ingredients possible. And Steph, our boss, Stephanie Falk, she has had restaurant experience since the mid-90s. She did cater to the 96 Olympics. So we definitely try to find the best ingredients for those loyal customers that have been coming here year after year. And they always know they expect the best ingredients. It's how it's prepared and how it's delivered. Stephanie, she would do anything for anybody, and as our employees, you know, we try to embody that also, because we're the face. We're the ones people see when they sit down to eat a bite of food, and we want their experience here to be as fitting as it should for a restaurant on the lake of this caliber. Even with something so small as our dressings, they're all homemade, in-house, with the freshest ingredients possible. Quality and freshness are a huge deal to us, of course. Any restaurant, I'm sure, but to us especially. As you may know, back in the line, we have all of our lettuce, onions, tomatoes, all kinds of vegetables. And if you could just look at them, there's like dew dropping off of them. They're so fresh. They were just picked from the garden, and it always looks like that. So we're super happy about how awesome it looks all the time, and we hope we can keep it that way for 10 more years. And we really try to incorporate every kind of culture into our meals. We have Indian dishes, Italian dishes, and we'll even take customer answers. Like if they want something special, we'll work with them, because that's why we're here, is to serve them. So we try to do everything as best and as quickly as possible for them.
Also, about every other week, we have a band that we have entertainment, free of service. Come as you are and enjoy the music and the nightlife here at the marina.
Live music right there, like you can pull your houseboats up to it and everything. We do fireworks off the middle of a barge for 4th of July, so you'll see hundreds of houseboats pull up to the lake around this barge, and fireworks are shooting off. Everybody's having a great time. And that's what it's about, man. Because where else are you going to be able to do this?
We're here today with Dr. Steve Robinson from the Department of Physics at Tennessee Tech University. And thank you so much for coming in with us today.
It's my pleasure.
We are going to talk about the solar eclipse coming up, and that is August the 21st, is that correct?
August the 21st, very conveniently just after noon.
Oh,
so
nice.
We don't even have to get up early or stay late. It's going to be exciting.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about what's going to take place on August the 21st when this happens, and what takes place in this process.
So if you have a picture of the solar system in your mind, and you know the moon goes around the Earth, and the moon has a shadow because we have this big source of light in the middle of the solar system, the sun. And just very occasionally things line up just right so the moon's shadow falls on the surface of the Earth. Most of the time that doesn't happen because the alignment is not right, but just occasionally it does happen. The shadow of the moon falls on the Earth, and on this particular date, the shadow of the moon is going to cross over our area, and so we will see, from our point of view, the moon blocking the sun completely.
And to be able to enjoy the eclipse, to get out there and see what's happening without damaging your eyes, what do people need to do?
So they need to practice safe viewing for most of the eclipse. You need to have a pair of glasses like these. You want to try it, Paige?
Yes.
So these actually will block most of the sunlight.
You can see nothing through
You can
these
see
indoors.
nothing through them normally.
Wow.
But because the sun is so bright, if you try and look at the sun directly, you can burn the back of your eyes out. And so you should never look at the sun directly. But just for that 2.5 minutes when the moon is totally blocking up the sun, it's okay to take those glasses off. But for the rest of the time, what you're going to see starting just after noon is the moon is going to gradually cover the sun. But there's still going to be part of the main bright part of the sun showing, and so you must wear the glasses. Right. It's only for that 2.5 minutes, starting just before 1:30, you can take those glasses off. And as soon as you see the sun starting to be uncovered again, you must put the glasses back on.
And be very careful.
Be very, very careful, yes.
So where can we come out and see this event and see things going on in an area where we can get some glasses and just enjoy it?
So we're having a big event at Tucker Stadium. Okay. Starting at 10 a.m. in the morning, we're going to have what we're calling our Eclipse Festival. We're going to have lots of exhibits and people to tell you about what's happening. We have a mobile science fair coming over from Oak Ridge. Our STEM mobile will be there. So there'll be lots of things to see and do. And then starting at around 12 or 12:30 is when the actually partial phase of the eclipse starts. We will usher people into the stadium, give them their glasses. Everybody who comes to the event that's tech will get a pair of glasses. Then we'll all watch the eclipse together. We'll have some guidance as to when it's okay to put your glasses on and take them off. As I say, the total eclipse will start just before 1:30. We'll have 2.5 minutes of the total eclipse. And then the whole process will repeat itself as the moon gradually uncovers the sun for the next hour and a half.
Nice. So as this process is taking place and these things become visible, will there be some coaching there as to what we're looking at and what is
So we will have some handouts for people that will point out the main things for them to look out for as the eclipse proceeds. So right before totality, we'll see something called the diamond ring effect, where there's only a tiny little part of the sun left showing, and it looks like the diamond on the top of a ring. And we'll see, as I said, the corona. We may see what are called Bailey's beads. If we're very lucky, we may see what are called shadow bands. So I've been told, I've never experienced this, but I've been told it looks like shadow snakes wriggling across the ground.
Wow.
Those are not seen at every eclipse, but we hope to try and see them at this one.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see those. Very exciting stuff.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Of course, all this depends on the weather. If it's cloudy that day, then we won't see all the amazing things that are going to happen with the sun. It will still get dark in the middle of the day, but we won't see the corona or the stars and planets and things like that. So we're really just hoping for good weather. And people have been thinking about, people who chase eclipses all over the world, have been thinking about where the best places to go to have the best chance of good weather are. Ours are kind of medium chances here, but we're going to go for it.
We're going to chance it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the rain will settle in by then and we'll have a beautiful day.
Yeah, we certainly hope so.
It sounds like a very exciting time.
It is, it is.
And August the 21st at Tucker Stadium there at Tennessee Tech University, and that begins again at 10 a.m.?
10 a.m., that's right.
And you'll get your free solar eclipse glasses.
That's right.
And some coaching as to what's happening through the process and things of that nature, and then the opportunity, will we be able to tour the STEM mobile and different things of that nature?
So as I say, there'll be Oak Ridge Traveling Science Fair, I think they call it. That's 6 trailers worth of stuff. And then we'll have the STEM mobile, and there'll be other exhibits and stuff there too.
Okay, fantastic. And this event is free to the public. We do ask that so that we know what to expect on Solar Eclipse Day and the capacity, that you go to the website www.tntech.edu/eclipse and register and show up and enjoy the event for the day. Thank you so much for coming in with us today, Dr. Steve Robinson with the Physics Department at Tennessee Tech University. We appreciate you giving us some knowledge of what's going to take place and inviting us out to the event at Tucker Stadium at Tennessee Tech University on August the 21st, 10 a.m.
Thank
you so much for coming in. The Upper Cumberland is a popular destination for many outdoor enthusiasts, and one of the biggest draws to our area is water sports, one in particular being kayaking. In this segment, Shan and Suzanne are back to tell us about Caney Fork Outdoors, who work hard to give experienced kayakers and novices alike the chance to enjoy the beautiful Caney Fork River.
And if there weren't enough things to do on the water in DeKalb County, Big Rock Market and Caney Fork Outdoors offers the best canoe and kayak experience for all skill levels.
You can enjoy the sounds of nature as you drift down the Caney Fork River.
It is absolutely the best way to relax and enjoy your day.
We've been in business now a little over 41 years. My father actually built the first building for me and some inventory, and we started from there. And then we built Big Rock Market. From there, we eventually got into the canoeing, kayaking, and then we got into fly tackle, spinning tackle, and we opened up Caney Fork Outdoors, which is now a full-fledged fly and tackle shop, canoe and kayak outfitter. We have cabin rentals, and we do guided tours up and down the river for fishing. The river here is a Class 1 river when it is at its normal level. Now we do have, this is a hydro dam, so it's controlled by the generation and the release of water from the dam. So that can be Class 2 when the sluice gates and the generators are running. We monitor that so that we're getting you the very best trip possible for your money. We want to make sure that you're safe. We want to make sure that you have an enjoyable trip, that you're able to fish and picnic or swim, whatever you're wanting to do on the river. We do classes for children to teach children kayaking, and we have kayaks that are for as young as 2 years old that if they can set up, they can paddle this kayak. And that is what actually started Jackson Kayak with building kayaks, was that Eric Jackson wanted a kayak for children, and there was none on the market at that time, and so he decided that he was going to build kayaks for children too, and that's where he started. These kayaks are they're only 21 inches wide. We have the paddles that will fit the child, and we will put them in here, and they can paddle 6 miles downriver. And once they paddle, their confidence level has gone very high that they have completed this, and we give them a pin, a little certificate for being able to accomplish this, and they become a member of the kayaking, the Kids Kayaking Club for the Caney. What we do is we shuttle people from our store, which is only about 1,000 yards from the put-in here. And you would go down, there is different exits from the river. There's a 6-mile point, there is a 9-mile point, and those are the two most popular points on the river to maneuver down the Caney. And we will shuttle you from either one of those points back to our store. Those shuttle periods where there is no long wait for us. We are very wanting to make sure that people are not waiting on us. We are waiting on them. So when you come and go with us, we are very mindful of your time. So we want to have you in our vans and headed back to our store, which is only 5 minutes from the river. Over the years, we have tried very hard to not commercialize the river. And that's hard to do because we are in business, but we have always tried to promote this as a relaxing journey down this beautiful river.
For more information on this show and to see others like it, visit our website, wcte.org/discover. Also, if you have any ideas on what you think we should feature next, send us an email to discover@wcte.org. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you next time, and together we'll discover the Upper Cumberland.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the United States Department of Agriculture.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.